How are we doing? Well, as Emily said, my name is Boschert, and I am a super senior here. That means I'm old. But I'm graduating this December, and I'm really excited to be here tonight. I've been coming to E3 since I was a freshman 5 years ago, when some of you were just starting high school. But this program means the absolute world to me, and I'm very excited to be back here tonight. So a little bit more about me. I'm from Kansas City. I'm 23 now. I'm 5'7". I round up to 5'8". I'm studying electrical engineering. I really like cats. Got a few applauses, that's always good. And I like reading electrical engineering textbooks sometimes in my free time. And I like anything outside, and I'm currently reading Harry Potter for the first time right now. So I got a lot going on. But we have a big group of people here. I came to E3 when there used to be 20 people in the lounge. And so it's been incredible to see it grow to what it is today. And that's just so much because of the campus minister's work and our student leaders, focus missionaries, and our priests. This group is absolutely huge and amazing to look out at. And so what I'm going to do right now is just give you all a chance to just turn to the person next to you and introduce yourself. This is a community, and we're a community, we want to get to know each other. So turn to the person next to you and just tell them more than just your name. Tell them a little bit about yourself. How many cast people do we have here today? Oh, gosh. 6. Sweet. Okay, so we guys are talking. You guys are still talking. But when you guys are talking, what are some of the things you said? I can probably guess. So you guys said your name. I'm a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. I'm studying this. My home is Kansas City, St. Louis, Chicago, Texas.
Arizona.
Thanks, Amy. No, but that makes sense. That's what you talked about, right? So that's who you are right now. These are all things going on in the present tense. It'd be weird if you're like, I used to play soccer in 3rd grade. It's kind of a weird way to introduce yourself. One of I came up here was like, I used to like cats so much that in high school I made a Twitter for mine and he got more followers than me. That's true, I wish it wasn't. Or what if I came up here and I was like, in high school, I used to be so terrified of public speaking that I swore I would never do it again. But that's not me now. Right now I'm up here, but most people have ever seen at this. I couldn't be happier to be here. You guys have no idea how bad I was at high school public speaking. I was kind of really quiet and shy kid. So the first time I had to give a public speech in high school, I remember it was supposed to be 5 minutes long, not too bad. I remember just standing there, and I got so nervous, you know how some people will shake, or they'll play with a piece of paper in their hand? I would have killed for that. What I did was so much worse. I was standing there, and my left leg started to drift to the side. Where eventually I was literally speaking at 45 degrees. And so we have a feedback portion. And I'm not good at public speaking, but I knew pretty quick that mine was bad. And my teacher is 50-year-old guy. He goes, it looked like you were trying to do the stanky leg. Just like that, whatever that is. Oh my gosh. And after that moment, I swore I would never speak again. For me now. No, but that was the past me. The fact that I was so afraid of public speaking does not change the fact that I couldn't be happier doing it now. That is my favorite thing, and I love doing it. And talking to E3 has been one of the best experiences of my life. And so we can't define ourselves by the past, because we can change from that. There's only one past tense verb that we can use to describe ourselves, and that's made. See, God made us so long ago before we even knew it. He made us, and that fact changes everything that follows it. The fact that we are made defines every moment of our lives and every moment that will come. So that's what we define ourselves by. And so, why were we made? Like, what's the meaning of life? Isn't that like philosophers have been trying to figure that out for forever? It's kind of like a mind-bending question. And so here's how I kind of think of it. Does anybody want to volunteer? Who's that in the back? Who's that?
Brandon check.
Christian.
Brandon today. Okay, Brandon.
Yeah.
Let's say you go to a job interview, and the interviewer asks you, what is your best quality? Like, what would you say is your best quality about yourself? I know you, don't lie.
Probably
Anybody else? All right, Brandon, what would you say?
say I'm a very loving, caring, genuine person, Christian.
Okay, no, I do know Brandon really well. And he is. He's a very loving and caring person. That's someone in the workplace. That's someone you want to work with. That's someone you get along with. That's someone that would be great on a team. It's someone that looks at everyone else as an equal. And that's a beautiful quality. So in an interview, when you ask that question, you want to give examples about how you've been loving and caring. Like, for example, when Brandon stepped up and gave a talk last year when no one else will. He just said, I'll do it no matter what it takes. You want to tell like stories like that. You want to show that off. And so that being said, what did you say that God's best quality is? And that's his love, right? God's best quality is love. So in the same way that Brandon wants to show off that he's caring and loving, God wants to show off his best quality, which is love. And that's where we come in. You see, love has to have a receiver and a giver. And so if God is always love and love is always outward, that means that someone has to receive his love. And that's where we come in, and that's why we are made. And so, if you look in Scripture, the very first chapter of the Bible, Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 through 27. It says, and God said, let us make human beings in our image, after our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, the tame animals, all the wild animals, and all the creatures that crawl the earth. God created mankind in his image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. So notice how many times he said created, how many times he said image. You see, he made a lot of stuff, right? But we are the only ones that he said he created us in his very image. And so this series is called Made in God's Image, Labor, Leisure, Love. And so, yes, that's a clever alliteration. But it's also, if we're going to be made in God's image, that means that we are like God. That means we do what God does, which is labor, leisure, and love. And so, how do we know God does this? So for the very first 6 days, God created everything as we know it. That's a lot of work, that's labor. On the seventh day, he rested, leisure. And God has always been love. He always loves and he will always love. And therefore, we have always been loved. We are always loved and we will always be loved. So that's where the name of the series comes, Labor, Leisure, and Love. You see, God created everything as we know it and set us apart for it because he cares so much about us. Because we are meant to be in that relationship with him, be the receivers of his love. Because we are absolutely everything to him. But how often do we forget this? How often do we forget that we are everything to him? Like, I don't know about you guys, but you ever just had like one of those days where you feel like you don't do anything right? Or you feel like you just messed up every single time you turn. I remember last semester, it was like one of those days where I'm like, oh my gosh, I've made no time for God. Every time I pray, I have no words, and I just get distracted by something else. I remember just like snapping at some people in my capstone group. I remember thinking, I haven't made enough time to call my family. I haven't made enough time for my loved ones in town. I've been stressed out. I said mean things about people. Like just one of those days. I remember going to prayer that day and just getting almost mad that I kept messing up. Be like, God, I'm sorry about this, I'm sorry about that, I'm sorry about that. I just want to be everything to you. I just want to be everything to you. And immediately I heard, what if you already are? Not even a second went by. I heard, what if you already are? And why would I think anything but that? Why do I think would be anything other than God's everything? And you see, the world tells us so many times that we aren't. We tell ourselves so many times that we aren't. And that's why we forget. That's why we forget. You see, my life has been like so many of these moments where I never felt like I was good enough for God. I never felt like that. Like I said, I've been involved in Newman Center since I was a freshman. But I started to get really involved going my junior year, where I started serving on the exec board. I remember we had our first meeting at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and I just turned 21. I showed up very hungover to that meeting. And the first thing that we did was they asked me to open in prayer. And I remember just sitting like, how do you do that again? It's been so long. But in that moment, I'm like, I don't belong here. And for the rest of that year, I felt like that. I felt like it when I'd sit down in meetings and everyone else seemed like they were so much farther along than me. I feel like every time I went to prayer, nothing came out. I feel like every time I'd mess up, I just felt like I didn't belong, like I wasn't worthy. I kept getting so frustrated by it that I never felt like I was enough. I remember all this changed though one day. I went to this retreat and I met with a spiritual director. And this is stuff that I'd always kept balled up. And I remember that day, I'm like, I'm just going to tell her everything. I'm just going to tell her everything I'm feeling, how mad I'm feeling, how I feel like I don't feel like I'm enough. I just laid it all out. And she looked at me dead in the face and said, Christian, you're exactly where God needs you to be right now. You're exactly where God needs you to be right now. And in that moment, I was no longer a summation of all my past failures. I was no longer my past, all the things that I'd done, but in that moment, I was God's child. I was His image that He created so long ago. And that changed all of my thinking. Because in my opinion, I was nothing. But in His opinion, I was everything. And quite frankly, His opinion matters a whole lot more than mine does. And He doesn't just tell us. He doesn't just tell us how much we mean to Him. He proves it. Because if you're going to love someone, you have to prove it. You can't just say it. And so God proves it with His Son, Jesus, right? He sent His Son to sacrifice His life for us. You see, Jesus, who had just been tortured and killed in the most brutal way they could ever imagine at the time, and then turn around and say, I forgive these people that just did that. If Jesus can forgive them, He can forgive you and me. And Jesus proves in that moment that everything that just happened in the past does not matter because He loves now. No matter what led up to now. And so for me, my prayer was no longer bringing a laundry list of sins and mess-ups that I had. Or rather, my prayer was a list of praises for a God that I had that loved me so much and cared for me so much. You see, when you come with this laundry list of sins, you come with this blurred image of yourself. You can't grow. And that's exactly what I did. It's when I was able to just be with God and be happy about that growth started to happen. I started to see myself as He saw me. So tonight, I talked about how the only thing from the past that matters is the fact that you were made in His image. And so if we let the past control us, we'll never move forward. Just like how if I would have never spoken again because of my horrifying public speaking occurrence, I wouldn't be here today. If I hadn't had my spiritual director talk to me, if I would have just kept living in the past, I definitely wouldn't be here today, and I definitely wouldn't be praying every single day and being a part of this community like I am. You see, we have to define ourselves by the fact that we were made in God's image, because that's the only thing that can never change. We can always change, but that will not. And so if you've ever heard me speak before, you know I usually like to end my talks with 3 points. Tonight I'm not going to. Tonight I have one. You were made in God's image. And don't ever forget.